This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Completely forgot I was supposed to hit that button. Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to Quality Hang. And as always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner in crime, my friend, your friend, and the co-host of the show. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, man? How you doing?
What's happening, dog?
Nothing much.
I actually kind of like that little dry opening. That was kind of cool.
I just completely forgot that
That
there was
was
another
kinda
step I
cool.
needed to
Yeah.
complete in order to get us on the air.
I
And for
think you
whatever reason,
stumbled onto some production genius right there, bro.
38 episodes in, and I'm like,
Swiffy.
duh, I don't know what to do. All that being said, here we are on a Wednesday. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's go ahead and get this party started by doing what we do at the beginning of every show. We thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns, 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in the lovely burg of Novato. They all do the same great things, plural things. Fantastic food from a diverse menu. The craft beer selection is even more diverse than the menu if beer is your food of choice. They also have a full bar as well if you like a little something stronger. But what they do better than anybody out there at Hop Monk is that it's a place for live music, live entertainment. At all 3 venues, it's a place where touring acts from around the country stop. And also, it's a great place, and this is why I really love Hop Monk. It's a great place for local artists to see and be seen. And it's not just music, although that's the bulk of the live entertainment at all 3 Hop Monk locations. They have comedy nights. They have open mic nights. I passed by one of the shops, and they were having a country line dancing night, if that's what you're into. It's all about live entertainment at Hop Monk. It's all about the live entertainment, the food, and the craft beer, and it's all about the people. So make sure you stop by if you happen to be near Sebastopol, Sonoma, or Novato, or for more information about what's coming up live music wise or any questions you may have. Check them out online at hopmonk.com and definitely follow them on all of the socials. So here we are in the 3rd week of July, and while we have yet to play anything that is remotely competitive, if you are a football fanatic like, well, a few 100 million other people in this country, damn it, it's football season. Training camps have opened. The Niner training camp day 1 went off today, and it was a football festival, Marcus. Nothing of note to speak of. The biggest issue going into camp for the Niners was the Jauan Jennings situation. Yep. For those of you who don't know, and it may just be one of you, but I do have to give context to serve everyone. Jauan Jennings was the Niners' best receiver last year. He was thrust into that number 1 receiver role because of injuries and Deebo Samuel being closer to the end of his career than the beginning. But the Brandon Ayuk injury, along with Ricky Pearsall getting shot in the preseason, thrust Jauan Jennings to the number 1 role, and he filled it beautifully. Almost had 1,000 yards. He was the Niners' best receiver in all statistical categories, and his blocking did not take a back seat as well. And Jennings, coming up now on the 5th year of his rookie deal, has asked for a new contract. And the Niners said, we don't know yet. So the talk was that Jauan Jennings, through his representatives, had requested a trade if he could not be compensated more than the $7.5 million he is scheduled to get this year. And let me just correct something I said. He's not finishing out the 5th year of his rookie deal. Jauan Jennings did get a 2-year extension a couple of years ago. He's finishing out the last year of that 2-year extension this year, which is scheduled to pay him $7.5 million. Either way, Jauan Jennings, coming off of his best season, coming off a season where he saved the Niners bacon at the wide receiver position, I think understandably and naturally would like a little bit more money. The Niners are saying, we don't know if we necessarily want to do that yet. And the prevailing talk was, Marcus, that Jauan Jennings would do what Brandon Ayuk did last year, which is stage a hold-in. Not a holdout where he doesn't show up. He shows up for camp, but he doesn't participate, and he's a bad egg about it. So, saying all that, let's see if Jauan Jennings staged a true hold-in, and if he decided to not take part in any of the Niners' offseason reindeer games. Doesn't look like he's out of a mood the past few months. I think Jauan Jennings is somewhat spirited, and he's ready to work. Here's Brock Purdy throwing, albeit against air, to Jauan Jennings. He's doing the opposite, Marcus, of what Brandon Ayuk did last year. He's
Smart
in
move.
camp, and he's actually participating. So,
Smart move.
I said this on Monday. I didn't think that this was going to be a big deal anyway. But hold in, no hold in. I think the Niners and Jauan Jennings are going to come to some sort of a financial agreement. He's not going to get everything he wants. The Niners are going to have to give up a little something. But as far as this being a problem for the Niners, I didn't see it before. I definitely don't see it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart on his end not to make it a thing.
Right.
Just get
Learn
out
what
there.
not to do from some people you
Yeah,
may have seen
yeah.
do it last year.
And I mean, let's be honest. He, for better or worse, he's not that guy. So just go out there, do your thing. You're gonna get your money one way or another.
Yeah.
Either Niners gonna give you what you want, or they're not, and you're gonna go ahead and move on.
He might not be that guy
Mhm.
using that sort of catch-all term,
Yeah.
but he is a very, very important guy to what they do offensively, and considering the wide receiver spot. And there was some news, some intrigue about other Niner wide receivers. We'll get to that in a second. But he's extraordinarily important to what they do. So, I mean, clearly he's not, he's not Jordan Jefferson or Justin Jefferson. Pardon me,
Yep.
Jordan's his brother. He's not
Jamar
Justin
Chase.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
He's not Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
But considering what he was tasked to do last year and the fact that he did it, and he's going to be asked to do something similar because the Niners are still in a not very good position when it comes to depth at wide receiver. He might not be the guy, but he is a very important guy to what they want to do and what they need to do.
You know what's curious to me is I wonder, and I've actually thought about this a few times. I wonder how important wide receivers are to Kyle Shanahan. I wonder if he really. I mean, obviously, if he gets a chance to get it at number one, but is it really that important to him? I feel like he loves his offense enough to have a receiving group that's decent.
Well, here's where you start with that. What's important to Kyle Shanahan from a wide receiver standpoint? Number one, you got to get down there and block. Okay. And that's what Jauan Jennings does. Deebo Samuel would do it. Brandon Ayuk would do it as well. I don't know if you remember a few years ago when he was in the doghouse. What did that have to do with? He wasn't putting out max effort, and they didn't like the way he was blocking. So, to your point, Kyle Shanahan wants his receivers to think blocking first. And I do think, and I don't believe I'm saying anything out of bounds here, that Kyle Shanahan is okay with not having to feed receivers the football.
He's a running coach.
Exactly, right?
He's a running, which I love.
Right. And sort of ironic considering he played wide receiver when he was in college. Now, of course, he inherits the Shanahan family offensive game plan, which, of course, means what you're going to do. You're going to run the ball, and you're going to run the ball with a bunch of dudes that some of them you ain't never heard of. And all of a sudden they're going to have, 1,000-yard seasons. Like, I don't know, Orlandis Gary. But Kyle Shanahan enjoys that he does it. His offense does not require a receiver to be force-fed to work. And receivers who want to get force-fed, they don't necessarily have a place. But if you're a guy like Brandon Ayuk, hey, man, you want to be force-fed. You want to be showcased. And that's the kind of the push and pull when it comes to receivers and this Kyle Shanahan offense. So I think to your point, if you're talking about what type of receiver makes Kyle Shanahan go, that's my type of dude. This is no shade, none to Ayuk, to Pearsall specifically. But a guy that really vibes with Kyle Shanahan at the receiver spot is Jauan Jennings, which is why they eventually going to come to some sort of an agreement when it comes to how much money and how many more years Jauan Jennings can get out of these Niners, whether it be incentive based, whether they do give him something that's, a good amount of money that's guaranteed, which is all players want. because the guaranteed money is the most important money. It's the money they can't take away from you. It's going to get done. And I think Jennings knows that, which is why he was in camp today dancing around like this.
Dude, I mean, I would be happy if I was him too. I'm making $7 million no matter what. And I might get a little bit more more paper when this deal is done. But it's interesting continuing to discuss Kyle Shanahan's offense. It's interesting that it actually makes sense that he doesn't place the emphasis on his receivers getting 25 catches a game, 15 catches a game. As long as that running game is doing what it needs to do, it does make sense that you can probably put, I don't want to say receivers are interchangeable, but if you don't have that number one guy, you can still get a bunch of explosive plays from a receiver who's just got really good hands and can get some yards after the catch.
And listen, you need a running game that's stout, and it always helps when your running game has this guy as the tip of the spear. Christian McCaffrey, dare say, looking pretty good. He hadn't skipped leg day or arm day or quick twitch muscle day. He's running against there, but this dude looks good. Come on, son. That's the problem. I'm reserving any judgment on him until the games actually start. He always looks good in camp. He always looks good during the season too. Now, Marcus, don't do that. Come on.
No, he does. He does. But I'm like, I'm not disagreeing. I'm simply saying to say he looks good during camp is not really saying much because he always does.
And I'm saying always looks good in the regular season when he's healthy.
There you go. That's my point.
Yeah,
will he be healthy?
It's a contact sport.
Yeah, but let's be honest. He's a dude who misses a lot of games in this contact sport
because he gets hit a lot.
So do other running backs. You can't say that he's not prone to injury. You really can't.
I'm not saying he's not prone to injury. I just don't knock him for being injured because when
I don't knock him. I'm saying I'm not. It's not a knock. It's not a knock at all. I'm saying that it's still a major concern. That's not a knock. If he's healthy, he's going to do well. But having him on your team, it's always going to be a concern about how many games is he going to play this year for us.
It's a bigger concern. It's a bigger concern for the teams you're facing that he's on your roster than it is a bigger concern for your roster whether he's going to play or not. Come on.
I wouldn't say it at all. If he's not there, it's a wrap. If he's hurt, it's a wrap.
I'm not disagreeing with that. Christian McCaffrey is a problem. It's a problem for their run game. It's a problem for their red zone. It's a problem for Brock Purdy not having to check down. It's a problem for the Niners defense, not having a run game that could keep them off the field. Right. But when he's there, it keeps opposing defensive coordinators and the 11 guys that are on that field up for the entirety of that week of preparation, getting ready for him. So to me, the negatives of Christian McCaffrey playing that position, getting hit a lot and getting hurt completely and totally is outweighed by the fact that when he's there, and he's there more often than not, and when he's there,
is he there more often than not? Is he there more often than not?
Come on now, man.
And he's not younger; he's older.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But you can't tell me you can't get at least one more good year out of Christian McCaffrey. Come on now, man.
Here's what I'm being honest about. I don't know. I'd be lying if I said no. McCaffrey's going to kill it this year because he's going to play 13 games for the 49ers. I couldn't even begin to say that.
McCaffrey's going to kill it this year, and he's going to play 13 plus games for the Niners.
Okay. I mean, I'm glad that you feel confident about that. I wouldn't say that with any certainty myself. How many times has he played 13 games in his career? Like, you can't deny that he's a dude who's been hurt a lot, and he's missed a lot of games. So for me to say, hey,
when he does play, he is easily one of the biggest offensive.
Not my point. My point.
So it's worth the risk, whatever that risk may be.
Yeah, you put him on your team. It's worth the risk until it's not. Until he gets hurt.
So then you ride that wave until that wave dissipates. Absolutely.
It is absolutely. And if I'm the 49ers and he's making the amount of money he's making, I am absolutely concerned about him getting hurt.
Oh yeah.
And
there's no doubt that there is concern about
we know it doesn't do you any good to be great and unavailable.
Okay, yeah. Well, as they say, the best ability is availability.
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, well, everybody knows that that's the case. But for me, having him available, no matter how much he is available to you, is worth the risk. Who are you gonna get that's better? Who are you gonna get that's better?
I like I said, okay. I'm not. That's not really something that's disputable. Like, yeah, sure.
Who are you gonna get that's better?
I'm not saying
that. Well, he may get hurt, so I don't know.
But it's not saying he may get hurt is not the same as saying some other running back that's more durable may get hurt. Like, there is absolute reason to be concerned about McCaffrey's health. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
When he plays, he's going to be great. But I also can't sit here and go, yep, I know for a fact he's going to play 13 games this year, because I don't know that based on his history.
So episode 38, July 23rd, 2025. Write it down, mark it down, put it on a Post-it note. He plays 13 games. 13 plus games.
13 plus.
13 plus.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, are we talking just regular season, or are we talking as long as the season goes?
Just regular season.
Just regular season.
Whatever happens.
Out of 17, he plays 13 plus.
I bet you miss. I have a feeling he'll miss 4 games. Do we have a push, or do we do 13 and a half over under? How do we do it? That's a good question.
Are we gonna gamble? How are we gonna do it? How are we gonna do
it? Let's say 12 and a half.
12. Okay, 12 and a half. I'll take the over. I'll take the over.
12 and a half. That makes it fair.
Okay, fair enough.
12 and a half.
So there we go. We are gambling. A couple of things though for the Niners. It wasn't all everybody's happy that footballs are flying through the air. One bit of good news, even though he is starting the season on the physically unable to perform list, Ricky Pearsall is dealing with the hamstring injury, but this bit of video was taken today. And again, he's just running in a straight line to cheers that sound very female in nature. Ricky Pearsall testing out that hamstring. The talk is from notable and reputable Niners reporters that Ricky Pearsall will be ready to go when the Niners engage in camp this upcoming weekend, Sunday being the target day. So they don't think, the Niners, that it's going to be that big of a situation. On the flip side, Jacob Cowing did injure his hamstring, and they are going to be very, very careful with him because, as you know, Mark, as you tearing your calf, muscle pulls can turn into to tiny tears, and tiny tears, if you keep pushing it, can turn into big tears, and then that's when you're dealing with a big problem.
I think that Ricky Pearsall, he's going to be the guy to watch.
Yes.
He is the X factor for this San Francisco 49ers team.
Yeah.
He's doing his 50 Cent impersonation already, so now he's ready to get in the game and start knocking out. I really like him. I'm actually a tiny bit surprised the 49ers were able to get him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I this guy could turn into something.
One last thing here. How would you like to block this guy? It's Big Trent Williams. Move it here. Look at the size of this dude. Not only is he huge, he has a nasty disposition. Nice guy.
Did he lose weight?
I mean, maybe.
He looks slightly trimmer in the midsection.
I see where you're coming from. I wouldn't disagree that he looks like he's lost some weight. And I know you're not saying this. He's never been a big, out of shape dude.
No.
As an offensive lineman, obviously he's bigger than most human beings. But no, I see where you're coming from. It looks midsection wise, looking. I'd damn near say svelte.
Yes.
But that's a bad man right there. Could you imagine being a defensive back and this dude starts rolling out, and you are tasked with having to, you're not going to stop him, but slowing him down? Shit.
We may be also not counting enough how much this guy means to this team.
Brother,
we may not be talking about that quite enough.
Spit the facts, baby. You are 100% correct, because it was the drop off wasn't crazy, but when he's not there, it's like McCaffrey.
Yeah.
When he's not there, the opposing defense goes, because you ain't got to deal with this guy and his nasty disposition on the football field.
Yeah,
coming at you.
Because it's just enough to take off some of your edge.
Yeah.
Just enough to disrupt things.
Yeah. I mean, listen, last year, no McCaffrey for however many games it was, and no Trent Williams for however many games it was. That was bigger than not having Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, dude.
Well, basically the entire season, with the hold in happening and Ayuk getting off to the slow start.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the very unfortunate knee injury, which, again, that's football. But he basically wasn't there for the entire year. But Jauan Jennings was able to pick up the slack. And it's not to slight Brandon Ayuk. It's not to say that he's not important or worthy, but I think it goes back to your original point. And if you watch football, you know how the Shanahan family offense gets down.
Yep.
It's about running the football and being dynamic in running the football and being able to do what you want. Almost simple stuff, but do it with so many different looks and out of so many different formations. And if you don't have two guys that offenses immediately key on, taking Brock Purdy out of the equation. Yep. But if you don't have the two guys that offenses immediately key on, which are Christian McCaffrey and this dude here, Trent Williams, it makes the Niners running the football a lot harder, and it makes the opposing team's desire to stop the Niners from running the football. It makes it a lot easier. And that's why the Niners couldn't run the ball the way that they wanted to. That's why they couldn't finish out fourth quarters. It's why they couldn't do anything in the red zone, because you didn't have McCaffrey for however long you didn't have him, and you didn't have Trent Williams for however many games that he missed.
And a quick note on Jauan Jennings is that I'll bet you that him being in camp like that probably goes back to seeing how things turned out with Ayuk last year.
Without a doubt.
Smart
people look at a situation and learn from it what's important, and you also learn what not to do. And also, and to give Jauan Jennings his credit, he's his own dude. You know what I mean? He makes his own decisions, but it'd be crazy to think that looking at a situation he had a firsthand seat to see, like that might have worked for them. It ain't gonna work for me.
But I don't want to take no chance. I want to come into camp. I want to stay healthy. I'll get my stretches in. I'll get my workout in. I'm gonna participate in everything. I don't want to have no fall off once I get this contract.
And what that also says is he's a leader. He might not be one of the top end guys, even though Jauan Jennings is important, as we mentioned last year, and what he brings to the running game always. And, the fact that you throw the ball to him, he's going to get a first down. There's a reason we call him Third and Jauan on the pre and post game show on NBC Sports Bay Area. But he's not Bosa. He's not Trent Williams. He's not one of the high-paid, high-moneyed guys. But he's a leader on that team. He showed leadership qualities and abilities last year. He's showing leadership qualities and abilities by showing up for camp. So good first day of Niners training camp. And, baby, this football season. Can't beat it. Love it.
And that leadership may end up being another huge quality, and maybe another reason that the 49ers try to keep this guy on the squad.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, they know. All right. What goes on inside that locker room, what goes on in the facility, as they say. They know who's faking and perpetrating, and they know who the real is. It's like the thing about football is, out of all of the professional sports, football is the most like a normal 9-to-5 office.
Facts.
And in a normal corporate 9-to-5 office, you have people who go above and beyond the call of duty. You have people who are in leadership positions, and you have people who are there and they're valuable, but they're just kind of there to go along to get along. And then you have some people who are in leadership positions that they don't really necessarily they've been given that position, but they haven't earned it, and they don't show that they should earn it by the way that they go about doing it. But because they have been put in a position and they make a certain amount of money, well, then they're in a leadership position. All of that stuff happens on a football team and more, except the only difference is they go out there and hit people in front of 80,000 people on Thursdays, Sundays, Mondays, and various Saturdays.
Yes, sir. They making them. Well, that's maybe another conversation for another day. But at some point, we got to pay these dudes like they deserve to be paid.
God, I saw. I was going to bring that up too. That the Packers, because they're publicly owned, they have to publicly state how much money they make.
Yeah,
and the Packers got, I think it was almost $450 million from the league, just from revenue sharing alone. And someone did the math and calculated that the league made about $5 billion plus last year alone. Remember when people said they weren't going to watch the NFL anymore because
that was a laugh from a jump.
Folks were kneeling because of the anthem. Remember that? Remember how the NFL was going to fail?
Oh,
because of protests.
It's a trip, dude. Like, I mean, you think about, and yes, there are fewer players on a basketball team, but the fact that a guy like Jonathan Kuminga can even consider asking a team to pay him $30 million a year, $30 million a year for a guy who is in all likelihood coming off the bench, and we've got quarterbacks who starting quarterbacks who are stars who are getting that money. It's crazy, dude.
It is absolutely wild. It seems like we're doing this on the regular, and we're not, but it just seems that way. I guess that's just a part of getting old. But we lost another great yesterday. Ozzy Osbourne passed away. And even though Ozzy was in ill health, had been dealing with Parkinson's disease for years, and if you saw the final Black Sabbath concert and tribute show that went down in Birmingham, England, where Ozzy and Black Sabbath is from, that went down a couple of weeks ago. If you saw it, you saw that Ozzy was not looking good, but that didn't stop Ozzy from giving the best performance he could give, albeit
I think he knew
on the throne. He absolutely knew.
I think he knew.
It's wild it's wild. Two reasons that Ozzy lived as long as he did.
Dude, it's facts.
No, dog. The fact that Ozzy Osbourne made it to 76 is wild.
Crazy.
But how much of a legend are you when you make it to the end? He made it literally. That's what the name of the show was in Birmingham. It was called The End. He made it to the end. How badass is that?
I have always thought of Ozzy as like legitimately the very first metal star.
I mean, yeah, we wouldn't have heavy metal as we know it. If it wasn't for Black Sabbath, they invented it. They flat out invented it, something that no one had ever heard of. And the term heavy metal came from a British newspaper who said that Black Sabbath's first album or second album, I forget which one it was, sounded like heavy metal being thrown down the stairs. Mm-hmm. I don't know who decided to take heavy metal and apply it to Black Sabbath in a complimentary sort of way, but that's where it came from. They didn't invent the term, but the term was applied to them because of the music that Ozzy and Tommy Iommi and Bill Ward and Geezer Butler, the music that they invented.
Yeah, 100%. It's really, and I I was a fan of the Osbournes when it was on TV. It was so funny to see Ozzy as a family man. That cracked me up. And really, if you only knew his antics and the music, that person is so different from the sweet guy we saw on that show.
Yeah. It's what's funny, I'm not a reality show person to begin with. And saying that, clearly I had a bias. I wasn't a big fan of the Osbournes because I didn't like the way that it made Ozzy look. It made him look like a real life Homer Simpson, right? But that was my hang up, right? That was me being a fan of Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, and that whole thing. Clearly he wasn't. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, the way I describe it, he was a delightful weirdo.
Yep.
Was what he was, and he played up the, the satanic and the occult, imagery because
of course he did.
That's what sells. A lot of rappers play up gangster because it sells. And we know a lot of these dudes ain't gangster. So me as a fan,
right? Yep.
Enjoying that, I hated that the Osbournes made him look, like I said, like a real life Homer Simpson. But that was Ozzy's decision to make. So, what doesn't matter what I think. But your point is, it introduced Ozzy Osbourne to a whole bunch of hundreds of millions of people who didn't know anything about his music or knew about his music and didn't like it for whatever reason. They didn't like the way it sounded, or they didn't like the satanic or cult imagery that was associated with Ozzy's music. But that show brought him to prominence to a whole bunch of people who eventually got to like him because he showed that he was a delightful weirdo on that television show on the Osbournes.
Man loved his wife. He loved his family.
He did.
And, he was imperfect, as Sharon has said many, many times. But the older he got, which happens to all of us, the older you get, you slow down, you sort of take stock of your life, and you figure out what's most important to you. And by the time it was all said and done, I would say probably the last 30 years of his life, Ozzy was happily settled in as a family guy and enjoying his life. And I'm glad he did, because he went through a bunch of shit. I'm glad he settled down and sort of had years to enjoy his wife and his kids.
Man, so growing up in Texas, my first introduction to Ozzy Osbourne was him taking a whiz on the side of the Alamo, right? And the Alamo is a sacred place. The history has been, has been massaged. But in Texas, the Alamo, even though it's right next to a mall and right across the street from a Fuddruckers and a Ripley's, believe it or not,
which is hilarious.
The Alamo is a sacred space in Texas. You don't mess with the Alamo. So me as a kid hearing about Ozzy Osbourne pissing on the side of the Alamo, like, what kind of a crazy person does this? Then you hear about him biting the head off a bat. Then you hear about him snorting up a line of ants. Then you hear about him snorting cocaine and doing all this kind of stuff. He made it to old age.
Yeah, dude.
The fact that we got to see Ozzy Osbourne go from the Prince of Darkness to loving father, husband, kind of doddering dolt at times, to a guy who literally made it to the end and went out on his terms and made it to 76.
Man.
I think that's why his death affected so many people, because you knew he was old. You knew he wasn't in good health. But the fact that he made it this far, you kind of thought, well, maybe, just maybe, Ozzy won't die.
Yeah.
And then he died. And it just hit people right in the gut yesterday.
I would say, though, I mean, like most rock stars, if they get into their 70s, they've already beat all the odds.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All the odds. So, I pour a little bat blood for Ozzy.
I remember being a kid in middle school, and someone came to school with the album. What's an album? Ask your grandparents. I came to school with the album. It wasn't Blizzard of Oz. It was, what was the second solo? Diary of a Madman. And I remember looking at that, and the imagery, the satanic occult imagery, was scary to me as a kid and off-putting. Listen, let's keep it a buck, all right?
Yeah.
Black folks, we go to church. We raised in the church.
We like us some Jesus.
We love us some Jesus. We don't mess with the devil. So anything that has any sort of satanic connotation to it, immediately we're like, nothing to do with that. So me as a kid being scared of it, and also being raised in church a little bit, like, but the music, I mean, like Crazy Train, that Randy Rhoads guitar, that whole song is just undeniable. And Black Sabbath and Ozzy, because of the imagery, they and the way it sounded, they seem scary and demonic and all of that stuff.
Yep.
But if you listen to Black Sabbath, it's really peace and anti-war. War Pigs.
That's fair, dude.
War Pigs is an anti-war song, right? I mean,
That's
it's just
fair.
it's if you haven't listened to it or the lyrics haven't hit you, listen to it again. It is absolutely an anti-war song, and they recorded that when Vietnam was still going on, in 1869, 1970. Children of the Grave on Masters of Reality. I think that's the album it's on.
Yeah.
That's an anti-war song. Hole in the Sky is a song about pollution. It's an anti-pollution song. Crazy Train. I was listening to the Crazy Train yesterday. And Crazy Train, one of the first lines in Crazy Train, millions of people living as foes. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. This guy would holding this cross in this picture we got up here, and all that satanic imagery and biting the heads off of bats and all that kind of stuff. And you're thinking this dude is out. He did a song about Mr. Crowley, about Aleister Crowley. He's all about the devil and all about that. And you go back to Black Sabbath and some of the solo stuff he did, and it was on some real hippie shit.
I mean,
real hippie vibe. It's wild.
It goes to show that, people weren't really listening to lyrics. They were
not at all.
Really into the imagery. And it's so fun. Like, I remember in Little Rock, Arkansas, walking into the house one day, and my grandmother, who only watched the televangelist. And I mean, literally the only thing my grandmother watched was the televangelist. And it was on 24/7. And I walked in there one afternoon, and there he was going off on Ozzy Osbourne, biting the head off of a bat.
Yeah.
And I remember,
by the way, it's a batshit thing to do.
It's insane. But but he was probably also high.
Oh.
Right?
Yo, man, higher than a sequoia tree. All right. Just stoned out of his gourd.
But he's one of those guys where when he's one of those guys who I would always say that would be a fascinating interview.
Yeah.
And I would love to have had the chance to sit and talk.
You have to watch it on closed captioning though.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if he wasn't singing it, you couldn't understand a goddamn thing Ozzy was saying.
No, he turned into James Brown at the end. He was the white James Brown.
So rest in peace to Michael Osborne, aka Ozzy Osbourne. He made it to the end. He made it to 76. So rest in peace to that delightful weirdo. And man, get down with some Black Sabbath and some Ozzy if you haven't. Black Sabbath, I mean, Ozzy solo stuff is great. Randy Rhoads, his guitarist, after Ozzy was kicked out of Black Sabbath. Ozzy got kicked out of Black Sabbath, if you don't know, because he was too fucked up. Fucked hilarious. Up you got to be to get kicked out of Black Sabbath.
That's hilarious.
Poor dudes who were fucked up all the time. But that Black Sabbath stuff, man. Like I was listening to Volume 4 yesterday with Snowblind on it, my favorite Black Sabbath song. And it's just, we were talking about this when Sly Stone died a few weeks ago, how hearing Sly and the Family Stone in 1967, 68, 69, how that must have hit people's brains.
Right.
Because you'd never heard anything like that before. I think it's the same thing with Black Sabbath. What people must have thought the first time they heard Paranoid, or the first time they heard Snowblind or War Pigs. Like I can't even comprehend what people must have been thinking at that time.
I mean, it just, you love it when again, I have to say this, Rod, our generation has experienced so many musical pioneers. Like, these people just don't come around anymore.
No.
True originals are not popping up anymore.
No, they're not. They're not. And by the way, speaking of that, Lil Yachty put out a new song today. Thank God we are in the midst of the summer of clips because
for real.
Woo boy, the state of hip hop is SAD sad. So Ozzy Osbourne, we salute you as you have traveled to a different astral plane. You know, one thing I think is absolutely true, Marcus, is the Cleveland Browns. The Browns be browning. Okay, the Cleveland Browns are a hapless, hopeless franchise. Even in the second iteration of the Cleveland Browns, okay,
the Clippers of the gridiron, baby.
The Clippers of the gridiron. The Browns be browning. They can't do anything right, literally.
Nope.
The Browns had a uniform reveal today, and the reveal is a uniform that is literally brown. It's brown from head to toe. It's a monstrosity. It's ugly.
Oh my God.
Anyway. They had a reveal today as the Browns are getting ready to open camp, and I'm going to show you a video here of
Can't wait.
The Browns revealing what the helmet is going to look like, and they're doing this on the shores of Lake Erie, which is where the Cleveland Browns Stadium, that factory of sadness, where it is located. It's one of my favorite stadiums to go to. It's a damn shame they're not going to be playing there anymore. But I mean,
Factory of Sadness is amazing.
It is a true dude. It's the Browns. Tell me one thing the Browns have done worth a damn.
Golly,
since they got back into the league, nothing. Anyway, here's the helmet reveal. Now, I want you to see if you can find something that's just a little bit odd about this helmet reveal. Here we go. All right, they're taking it off, the cover. And there's the Browns' new helmet. It's brown.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Did you see that? Did you see it?
I didn't.
Didn't see it. I'll run it for you again. All right.
Reminds me of the Tampa Bay helmet.
And listen, you're the Browns. Okay. You're named after the inventor of the modern offense, Paul Brown.
Paul Brown. Yeah.
Okay. Pass it along to Bill Walsh. And now that's why we have the NFL we have today. And I think that's a great thing. You don't have to make your uniform from head to toe brown. You don't have to do that. Anyway, it's the Browns we're talking about. And the Browns be browning. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to see if you can see what makes this so unusual. By the way, sponsored by Dude Wipes, which are wipes for dudes who can't wipe like normal people. Okay. So you probably didn't see it, right? All right. Let me give you a close-up of this Browns uniform reveal and how it went oh so hilariously wrong for one person. And boom, in Lake Erie he goes. So I'll play the original one first. And I want you to look at the bottom right corner of the video down here. You can't see my cursor. You see the guy, he's filming, and whoops, he's out of sight. Splish splash, he was taking the bath of the rancid waters of Lake Erie. Now, hey, by the way, I'm going to back this up a little bit. The Browns mascot, the dog, I want you to notice that he throws the guy something. He throws him a life preserver. So good looking out for the Browns dog for not allowing that guy to
that's hilarious
to drown. Because I don't know if I would have had the wherewithal to throw him a life preserver, because I would have been laughing because, man, this is funny. Okay, what you say?
That is hilarious. Oops.
Falling in that water for the Cleveland Browns? Oh, no, couldn't be me. Would you like a real extra special close-up of what happened? Of course you want that. Here it is.
Nice.
Yeah, let's play it again.
Nice.
The music cutting off and the bubbles.
Nice.
No
By the way, that must be a great camera.
Oh, yeah.
That must be a great camera. My man went into the drink.
Falling into polluted Lake Erie for the Cleveland Browns? Couldn't be me, but it's just example number 7,862 of the Browns. They just be browning.
It's also hilarious that Dude Wipes is the sponsor
of the Cleveland Browns.
because all it makes me think of is Doo Doo Brown. That's all it makes me think of.
Yeah, it's almost too on the nose.
Yeah, like,
that
come on,
Dude Wipes would be the sponsor of the Cleveland Browns helmet reveal.
Doo-Doo Brown,
whatever. So yeah, we're gonna watch that again.
Oh man, that's amazing.
That's hilarious. That is the Cleveland Browns.
He was getting some good footage too.
He was getting some very good footage, but we go back to the second video. I want you to watch him and watch his foot desperately try to find some dry ground.
Oops.
That poor guy, probably making $45,000 a year being the social media camera person for the Cleveland Browns. But sorry, buddy, had to laugh at you.
Go ahead and license that footage out to a bunch of people because he's gonna make some money off that.
Yeah. Let's do on this date, shall we? On this date, July 23rd. On this date in 1984, Vanessa Williams.
Oh, I remember this.
Resigned as Miss America.
Yeah.
Vanessa Williams was the first Black Miss America.
Yeah.
And she resigned when Penthouse, and this is very important, Penthouse, without her authorization, published those nude photos. Because people back then were, what's the word I'm looking for? Assholes. They forced Vanessa Williams to resign. She did so, giving up her crown on this day in 1984. Vanessa Williams, of course, went on to have a successful singing career and is still one of the baddest to ever
what is she,
ever do it.
64 or something like that. Like she's doing all right.
I bet she's still looking good.
It's not funny, but she got such a raw deal because they took these pictures of her when she was a younger woman, and they saw they had these models. They signed their release, and they can do whatever they want with those pictures.
Yeah.
And here's what's funny: the irony of all this is that if this would have happened today, no one would bat an eye.
Do you know how
she'd be huge?
Do you know how badly the Miss America pageant needs the publicity? They're probably hoping nowadays that whoever wins has some naked photos out there that can be released on the internet. Because do you even know who Miss America is? Of course you don't. I can answer that question for you. You don't even know what state she comes from because no one pays attention to Miss America.
Not a clue. And it's funny because remember it used to be really prestigious to be Miss America.
Yeah.
Like it was an evening around the television to watch the Miss America.
Yeah. And it always happened around my birthday. It always happened around early September. And who was that old dude that would sing that song? Was it Bert Parks?
It was Bert Parks.
Why this stuff sticks in my head?
I can't
Bert find Parks. My car keys, but I can remember Bert Parks singing that song. There she is,
Miss America.
So Vanessa Williams resigned as Miss America on this date in 1984. I ask you this question, Marcus, before we move on. Yeah. Did you see the pictures?
Of course I did.
Okay.
What do we need you even ask? I was 15 years old. Of course I was looking for pictures of naked Vanessa Williams. What are we saying here? What are we saying? The first Black Miss America? What are we saying? The only pictures that were more valuable, the only nude pictures that were more valuable to me at the time were pictures of a woman named Jane Kennedy.
Did you see that video?
Is water wet? Is money green?
Is the Pope a Catholic dude from the south side of Chicago?
You know it.
Let me tell you something. That Jane Kennedy and Leon Isaac Kennedy tape.
Yeah, buddy.
It was a sex tape. Like I saw that years before I saw Pamela and Tommy Lee.
That's what it was.
That's
what it was.
Leon Isaac Kennedy and Jane Kennedy's sex tape made a lap around all hoods in all of the big cities.
We got that United States fast.
Man. It did though. I do remember seeing the Vanessa Williams pictures and that Jane Kennedy tape. And that was the first time where I felt like, okay, this is kind of, I mean, it didn't stop me from looking at it because I was a teenage boy. But I do remember being like, oh man, this seems kind of not cool.
They weren't good pictures. That's what I remember.
Well, no. I'm not talking about the quality of the pictures. It just felt like I was engaging in some voyeurism that I shouldn't be engaging in, but it didn't stop me. Right? Yeah.
They weren't. I remember thinking these aren't good pictures. I like this, but these aren't good pictures.
Yeah, it wasn't. She didn't look. It looked almost a little bit too raw, too real.
Yeah,
if I'm remembering,
super amateur.
Look, yeah. And
like,
by that time,
if it wasn't Vanessa Williams, there's no way any publisher puts those pictures.
Exactly, 100%.
They were not good.
100%. On this date in 1993, the cinematic classic "Poetic Justice" was released in theaters, starring Janet Jackson, Tupac Shakur, and directed by the greatly missed, the dearly missed John Singleton.
John Singleton, whose film career was, it's not enough films made. I don't even think he got to 10 movies.
But boy, what he did make, bangers.
I was a big fan of John Singleton. I mean, we got Snowfall, which is one of my favorite shows because of John Singleton. Great show, by the way. Yeah. If you get a chance to watch Snowfall, if you like that hood shit like I do, Snowfall is fantastic.
Poetic Justice hit, like I said, released on this date in 1993. I would dare say, Marcus, that from I want to go. I was going to start at Do the Right Thing, but I want to go back to one of my absolute favorite movies. It's a cult classic, Hollywood Shuffle. You go back to Robert Townsend's Hollywood Shuffle into into Do the Right Thing and Poetic Justice. This was I'd say it was a golden age for Black filmmaking.
Yeah,
Poetic Justice hit, man. It hit hard, and Tupac, Tupac was a star. Looked very good on film. Charismatic. Had some acting chops. Obviously, Janet Jackson at the time was one of the biggest pop stars in the world. That when that movie hit, man, it hit like government crack, brother.
Yeah, with Tupac, I always wonder if he would have continued to pursue acting the way like Ice-T did or Ice Cube did. If he,
I think so. I think he would have.
He could have been so good.
Yeah,
I mean, he was solid before he died, but he could Juice is legendary. Acting performance from Tupac. So it's always interesting. It's always sad to me that we never got to see the second half of Tupac's career.
No, I completely agree with you. Can I play my favorite snippet from Poetic Justice?
Of course.
Do you remember the character? And I know you do, but I'll ask it anyway. Yeah. Do you remember the character Chicago?
Of course.
Okay. Joe Torre, comedian Joe Torre, played the character Chicago. I'm not lying to you. I say this little, it's not a monologue, but I say this little speech that Chicago says to himself. I say it randomly. I say it when I'm in the car by myself. I'll say it when I'm cutting the grass.
That's funny.
I'll say it to my dog. I'll say it when I'm running. People must think I'm crazy because it's the funniest thing in the world to me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Fuck it. I can just find me another bitch. I'm a good-looking nigga. Got a job, income coming in. Car, apartment.
My shit is
set.
Joe Torre.
It makes me laugh so much. The acting choice to brush his hair all the time.
That's real.
I absolutely love it.
That's real. Like every brother who had waves, you couldn't get the brush was constantly in your hand. The brush was constantly in your hand, and when you had your afro, the pick was in your hand.
The pick was probably in your hair, and then you take it out and you start picking it.
Constantly.
But man, there's nothing better than a brother pumping himself up like, I don't need this woman no more.
Yeah,
I'm a catch. And when he says I got income coming in, it murders me every single time.
Fuck it. I can just find me another bitch. I'm a good-looking nigga. Job, income coming in, car, apartment. My shit is set.
Income coming in.
but then he had to look back and go, well, maybe I'm not quite as sad as I thought I was.
Yeah.
After I see what's sitting over there.
Regina King, and I forget what character she plays, but love me some Regina King.
Who once dated Malcolm Jamal Warner, by the way.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they dated for a while, for a couple of years.
That makes sense. Oh, did you hear? Did you hear that Malcolm Jamal Warner was swimming with his 8-year-old daughter?
Dude, I know.
He got sucked out to sea. Oh, these last couple of days have sucked.
This is reminding me eerily of 2016.
Yeah, I was thinking about you when you hit me with the Ozzy news that this does feel like 2016 when so
every day
notable people died.
What is going on here?
On this date in 1999, the shit show Woodstock 99 began.
Wow.
Woodstock 99 easily thought of as one of the grossest exercise in
this did not turn out well.
What's the term I'm looking for? Price gouging. It was terrible.
Yeah,
all the way around. And I can't think of anything, even though people who actually went to the original Woodstock says that all that peace, love, hippie shit. It was an awful 3 days. It was muddy. It was terrible. It was disgusting.
Yep.
People couldn't find their cars afterwards. The movie, the Woodstock movie, did a lot of, let's say, polishing of what actually went on at Woodstock. And made it out to be some sort of, just nothing went wrong, and it was the biggest cultural event of all time.
Yeah.
Woodstock 99 was the complete and total opposite of what they were hoping to capture. That vibe of the original Woodstock. Woodstock 99 was an absolute total
train wreck,
shit show.
And remember, they built that thing up for months.
Yes.
They built that sucker up for months.
Yes.
It's 30-year anniversary. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, man, that thing.
Yeah. You had riots. They were charging people $15 for bottled water. This is 1999.
Yeah.
Bottled water was still a relatively new concept.
Yeah.
To be charging $15, $18 for bottled water, it was held on an old Air Force base. It was in the triple digits. There was no shade. All of the vendors were price gouging. There were reports and confirmations, unfortunately, of sexual assaults.
You knew that was going on.
The performers weren't necessarily thrilled about the entire situation, and there ended up being fires and riots. So Woodstock 99, great.
And that lineup is insane.
Oh yeah. It's a massive lineup,
especially for the time that it was held. I mean, this is a who's who.
I mean, Aerosmith, Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, Alanis Morissette, George Clinton, P-Funk, DMX. Now, DMX's set at Woodstock 99 is, you want to talk about one of the greatest festival big event sets ever?
That was peak DMX.
I'll put Darkman X's Woodstock 99 set up there. I'll say it with my chest. Up there with Freddie Mercury and Queen at Live Aid in 86.
I would too.
That DMX set was off the meat hook.
You're talking about DMX at the peak of his career.
Sir.
And all you had to do was hear that growl and people went insane. People lost their shit.
Yo, man.
All they had to do was hear him.
Yeah, man.
DMX is one of the great live hip-hop performers of all time.
Yeah, and another one that we lost way too soon.
Yeah, man.
Way too soon.
Absolutely.
So, Woodstock 99 opened on this day in, wait for it, 1999. So there you go. That is on this date. The fun on this date. How about we do a best thing I saw today?
Let's do it.
Get the hell on out of this spot. All right, here we go. Best thing I saw today. Like Thanos, the Houston Astros are inevitable. Astros sweep the soon-to-be selling Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Astros. Now, with like 12 to 17 guys on the injured list, the Houston Astros,
That's
the
crazy.
bane of Yankee fans and Dodger fans' existence.
That is
the Astros
crazy.
now have the best record in the American League.
That is crazy.
That is easily the best thing I saw today. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Best thing I saw today, I was going to go with seeing Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, you should have gone with that.
Cupcaking on the golf course.
Oh, can I? Let's see if I can get that video up. No, we need to show that to the people. I got to get that video up here.
Go for it. That was amazing. See, like she definitely got Klay cupcaking hard.
Oh yeah, and can you blame him?
No, not at all. I don't know. This is a side of Klay I'm not used to seeing.
I have. Oh gosh, it'll take me a second here. So,
well, it's funny because people are like, well, Klay is just doing this for clout. Like that's not Klay's MO. Klay is not.
You clearly don't know Klay Thompson if you think that dude does anything for clout. Get out of here with that nonsense.
He is not looking for nobody's attention. That's how you know he's smitten because
absolutely
and by the way, people think Klay is like some shrinking violet. He's not.
No.
All you gotta do is watch clips of China Klay.
I forgot about China Klay. Yo, dog, I forgot about China Klay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, these are people, and I said this when we talked about these two lovebirds a couple of days ago, that people love him so much in the Bay Area because we're the ones who know him best, as best you can know celebrity. All right. So people here know how genuine he is, how sort of, how carefree he is.
Yes.
And he knows that he's not a person that's look at me and he doesn't put on airs or anything of that nature. It's the people who don't know Klay Thompson who are under the impression, oh, he's just with Megan Thee Stallion because it'll burnish his cred. Nah, that's just not how he gets down. And really, why you got to be a jerk about it? Because come on, man, you could clearly see by the way that these two look at each other, for goodness sakes, that he is 100% in love with this young lady. So
and she is with him. Like you can see that too. Like she is definitely smitten with him. And the quote from Klay was, "I fall in love, and my golf game reaps the benefits."
So here it is. I finally got it up. Here we go.
Say no more, baby.
Oh, is it going to
on pace for 82? I mean, ever since I've been in love, my golf game's reaped all the benefits.
Come on, dog.
I love
just like Ozzy Osbourne.
I mean, ever since I've been in love, my golf game's reaped all the benefits.
He's such a delightful weirdo. Man, how can you not be down with those two? How can you not root for those two? And how can you not think that let me tell you something, okay? Man took his girl to the golf course.
Right.
If you play golf, you know that dude's in love.
And not only that, she went willingly
with him.
She said, "Baby, pick out my clothes. I'm going with you to the golf course."
And he's like, "Yeah, you are.
I got you.
I'm showing this off right here."
Ever since I've been in love, my golf game reaps the benefits.
Hey, listen, if the Astros had to sweep that series today, this would have been the best thing I saw today. Both of us would have had this. Absolutely.
And the other thing that I was really excited about, 1987, the concert film Sign of the Times was released by Prince. It is coming back to theaters in August. I found out
really?
On IMAX screens. So I tell everybody I know when they ask me why I love Prince so much, it's because he's the greatest live performer I've ever seen. If you really want to see great performers, this Sign of the Times shit is insane.
Okay.
It's insane. So I'm looking forward to seeing it on IMAX. It'll be interesting to see if they remaster it and, the film and the music. It's going to be so much fun. So if you haven't seen him live, you always wanted to see him live, see that dude at the peak of his powers in 1987 at 28, 29 years old.
I am going to see it, but the cynic in me, of course, saying Prince's estate needs a little money, huh?
I feel like, dude, he was like the top 5 dead celebrities making money last year. Like top 5 last year. They doing all right.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep rolling stuff out like that, but they're not going to give us the 12-hour documentary.
Nah, they're redoing it with someone else.
Oh, so everything that Ezra Edelman did, they're just going to scrap it and go with someone who's not going to tell the full Prince truth.
Yeah.
Watching that nonsense.
Yeah.
Miss me with that nonsense.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Hop Monk Taverns, for their continued support of Quality Hang. And we'd like for you to support them. Check them out in Novato, Sonoma, or Sebastopol. The food, it's great. The menu, diverse. The craft beer selection is out of this world. And they do live music better than anyone out there in all 3 venues. So to see what's coming up, live music, live entertainment-wise, check out Hop Monk online at hopmonk.com. Follow them on all the socials and definitely stop by. Speaking of socials, follow us on all the socials as well. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook so we can start broadcasting on Facebook.
Yes, please go there.
Follow me on Twitter at Rod Brooks TV. Marcus on Twitter. You see it there at the bottom of the screen. And real easy to find us on Instagram and Twitter. Quality Hang with Rod Brooks. So do that
with Rod Brooks and Friends.
Rod Brooks and Friends. Yes. Do not forget the friends part. That's
a
very important part of the entire get down as we continue to expand and dominate the world in conjunction with our good friends at the Bay Area. You see this sticky there. Thanks, Dom Peralta, for the sticker. Bay Area Sports Collective. And check out the other shows at the Bay Area Sports Collective. Tom Tolbert's The Tom Tolbert Show with, the Tom Tolbert, John Lund Unleash, Paulie Mac's Particles with the homie Paulie Mac and Tony Ryan, and Amy G's podcast and Jeremy Affelt's podcast as well. The Bay Area Sports Collective. We have everything you could possibly need when it comes to podcasting and broadcasting. All right, my brother. Let's say we did the damn thing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
How about we do it again on Friday? What do you say?
Let's do it.
Oh, we've made the commitment to do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 o'clock. We're not going to stop now. All right, everybody. Enjoy your Wednesday night. We have gotten over the hump, and now it is downhill to the weekend. So we will see you on Friday. Enjoy your evening. Have a great day tomorrow. And as always, be good and be good at it. We'll see you.